I am really congested. I woke up early. I mean, I went to bed at around 2:30 or 3, but I was just, my nose is just running like a river, and you can tell from listening to me that I am congested. There's a calm trail right there. This is just terrible. Loree needs to be stopped. This is one of her bombs. Look at the formation of those clouds. Whatever she's putting in these clouds, it's making me very congested, and it's keeping me from sleeping well. I mean, I can't sleep because look at that right there. Or the chemtrail, that's what that is. She's dropping all sorts of stuff over me. And I was running both air cleaners, and usually that helps, and it seems like that's barely doing anything. There could also be some brain control going on as well. I don't know. Here's a view from another window. Look at that chemtrail. And as you can hear, I'm very congested. So this is just really bad what she's doing. Really, really bad. Do you see how my hair is kind of frizzy? I think it's the radiation from the bombs that she's dropping. I also have yeast inflammation, like a red mark there, and my eyes are red. See right, this one right here? It's from the bombs, and I couldn't sleep last night. Water, nose, post-nasal drip like a river going down the back of my throat, and I just kept me up last night. You really need to get rid of these Loree McBride Jesuits. They really need to go. And I consider the Gail's men going their own way Loree McBride Jesuits. I mean, that's pretty obvious. Viggo Mortensen making love to Loree McBride. What more do I need to say? You know, this is just crazy. I mean, look at how red my eyes are. Oh, they feel like they're burning. And I just showed you the chemtrails and the bombs she's dropping from outside. You know, I took another test, a Myers-Briggs test, INFP again. Every Myers-Briggs test I take says that I must definitely be an INFP. Every test I take says I'm an INFP. Jesus gave me the temperament to be a brilliant writer. And he gave me the Gail commandments to ensure that I utilize my INFP temperament to the fullest, or don't allow my weaknesses to cause me to fail as a servant. We creative spirits tend to lack discipline and organization, so we need to find a way to get the job done. And that's why Jesus gave me the Gail commandments. Brent understands me so well. He helps me stay on track and gives me confidence because he adores me just as I am, every little INFP cranny of my mind. The loneliness of writing would drive some people crazy, but we INFPs think it just gives us more room for the imagination. Getting out into the world helps us stay grounded in reality, but we need a break to get away and dream. And I need a break from these bombs. You really need to execute all the Loree McBride Jesuits. They have no right to drop bombs like this over the population. They really need to go. A big problem that I have with some people is that they don't validate who I am, like Viggo Mortensen and those Gail's men going their own way. They cut me down for being a dreamer and say I need to be grounded in reality. But that just denies who I am, and I no longer tolerate anyone who can't accept me as I am. If they don't like a dreamer, then I just tell them to move on and find someone they like. I no longer tolerate someone who tries to change me to become more rigid, more conventional, etc. I am who I am, and if you guys can't accept it, then I put up boundaries. Brent and the Lord have taught me to do this because I tend to be kind and sympathetic. Narcissists in the past have taken advantage of me. And I let them do it because my mother hated my INFP personality and basically crucified it while I was growing up. It took Brent Spiner to cause me to love myself. He healed me from my massive inferiority complex. Now I can sense when someone's trying to cage me, and I just put up boundaries and say goodbye. I used to put up with narcissists, but they drain my energy, and that person's negativity and toxicity rubs off on me, and I start becoming like them. This is why I have to separate myself from narcissists, because I start becoming like them in a sick, codependent way. When people are narcissistic, usually the best response is to separate from them if you can. I used to have big guilt complexes about doing this because I have a tendency to validate others because I tell myself, who am I to judge another person? I'm far from perfect. But I've learned putting up boundaries is the only way to deal with a narcissist. Sometimes this means I have to tell them that they've gone too far, like those Gail's men going their own way. And whoever's dropping these bombs, they deserve to be executed. You need to take out Loree's space fleet now. And I don't care if it's Gail's men going their own way. These people, don't give them a new name. They are Loree McBride Jesuits. They need the death penalty. Dropping these bombs is not good. They have no right to do this. They're making me very sick, and it's probably not just me. You might need to drop some Seroquel bombs on the population to counter what they're doing too. Sometimes, sometimes this means that I've got to tell them they've gone too far, and I let them know that I expect a genuine apology for their toxic behavior. And if they don't give it, goodbye. At this point, the narcissist usually tries to put a guilt trip on me, and then I know it's time for me to separate from them. They'll never stop being toxic if I continue to enable their toxic behavior. I can now smell a narcissist a mile off. I'll say that those 10,000 men like Viggo Mortensen who got furious at me because I didn't want 10,000 men slobbering over me like rabid dogs, all exhibited narcissistic behavior. I can assure you I have no desire to reinstate them to my marriage list, which was never my idea in the first place. I really do prefer monogamy. I didn't warm up to the idea of a marriage list until Vladimir Putin came into my life, and I realized that when I dropped him to go back to Brent, that he almost tried to kill himself by throwing himself to a Bengal tiger. That's when I decided that if I've already bonded with the man, that God would probably understand me not breaking it off totally with him. And so starting with Vladimir, listen to what they're doing to me with these bombs. Can you hear how congested I am? I've actually had a river of mucus going down the back of my throat all night. I can't sleep because of these bombs that Loree McBride and I suspect those Gail's men going their own way or drop it over my head. Those men, they need the death penalty. You need to wipe out their space fleet and wipe them all out. They have no right to drop bombs like this. Okay, so, but I still, even though starting with Vladimir, the marriage list started because I decided that when I've already bonded with the man, that God would probably understand me not breaking it off with them. But I still cannot get excited about making love to 10,000 men all at once. And if a man has a problem with that, he is definitely narcissistic. Goodbye. I was married to a narcissist, and I will never, ever do that again. The way I stop the guilt when dealing with a narcissist is when I realize that they're not only poisoning me, but the world. And when I allow them to manipulate me into codependent behavior, it doesn't just hurt me, it hurts those I love. That is the motivation I need to separate from them. Look what they're doing to me. Are we going to allow these people to do this? Take them out, folks, take them out. This is, I'm making a video today on purpose so you can hear and see. Look at my eyes. See how red they are? What Loree McBride's bombs are doing to me. Probably not just me. As a person who feels I must always do what I feel is right, that is right to me to take action, to make a barrier against people who try to make me less great than I am. We INFPs have a harder time dealing with narcissists than most because we're among the most empathetic of all people. But all I have to see is the harm they do to those I love, like Brent Spiner, and I can even become rabid in opposing them now. Never, ever try to get an INFP person to violate their deepest principles. That's me. Though it might be hard to get us motivated, when you try to force an INFP to violate our principles and passions, we are motivated even unto death. You might say, you don't seem like an INFP in the way you handle Loree McBride. Oh, yes, I am. I see Loree as the most dangerous human in the world today. Look how my eyes are watering. As an INFP humanitarian, I cannot sit back and allow this bitch to destroy true love. I know for a fact that if I didn't stand by my men because of Loree, Brent would probably have committed suicide by now. The real Brent, the clone, he's a terrorist and a sociopath. That the real Brent is a great man. Loree's like a tsunami in the way she destroys people. Yeah, look what she's doing to me. If it wasn't for my Gail shield, she would have killed me by now with these bombs. As a humanitarian, oh God, as a humanitarian, I consider it my duty to take her down. Did you know that's Satan's mission? To destroy true love, and Loree's working right alongside him. As an INFP, I consider it my mission to give that bitch hell. If I don't stop her and expose her toxic behavior, she'll destroy all that's good and loving on earth. And yet, despite all this, if Loree, look at the radiation in the bombs is making my hair frizzy. My hair, see how my hair's frizzy? It's the radiation from those bombs. That's what's doing it. And yet, despite all this, if Loree ever learned some humility and admitted she was a sinner and accepted Christ, I could forgive her in a second. Unfortunately, that's highly unlikely. She's one of the proudest people I've ever encountered and goes on egotistical rages or murdering sprees when she's furious. She just knocks people down and kills them because it makes her feel powerful and invincible. She's drunk with her own power. When the narcissist is Loree, separation from her can become impossible because she has mind-reading technologies and she's a stalker. She is. When I go on my walks, I feel like I'm being stalked by her followers. They follow me around, they bump into me, and she launches bombs to kill people or make them very sick. And also, those yeast in her bombs give her brain control ability, where she's able to control your mind. This is death penalty, folks. All these people deserve the immediate death penalty. So for a sociopath like her, we need the death penalty. But she's got Antichrist powers and cannot be killed. But if we take out the sociopaths in her army, and believe me, just about everybody who follows her is a sociopath. She's got an army of sociopaths, including those Gail's men going their own way who are now sociopaths, just like her. I don't care what they say, folks. They're a bunch of narcissistic sociopaths. Take them out. If you don't, she's going to destroy us. Look what she's doing to me right now. If we take out her following, she's going to lose her Antichrist powers, folks. That's the key to winning with this bitch. You got to take out her following. This woman's a killer, a drug rapist, an extortioner, and everything evil. The only redeemable quality she has is stubbornness or tenacity. Too bad she's tenacious for evil. She has Satan's heart. She and her willing and knowing followers need to go. Death penalty right now.